Greetings, everyone. It's been a while since the dumpster times has been up and running. It was spring cleaning turned into summer clear out, turned into let me think about it, what exactly it is I want to do with this show. And I've thought, and I think the one thing that's important is consistency. If I get myself together enough to do a show a week, I will be happy. And certainly there's enough that goes on in this world that once a week I should be able to get on and spew about something. So, without further ado, we're going to talk about a trend that I had addressed and recorded, but had neglected to turn on the microphone. So, therefore, I'm doing it all over again, albeit several days later. So, I'm going to talk about, yes, the two movies that are obsessing the nation. And I, of course, have not seen either movie because I will not spend the money to go and see these two movies. I probably would watch them on cable streaming TV if I don't have to pay for it. So maybe in a couple decades, I'll be watching these movies. Probably Oppenheimer sooner than the big capitalistic, let's promote this movie and get people to buy Barbie stuff thing. Anyway, let's start with Barbie, shall we? I didn't have anything pink to wear, so I put a picture of my pink flowers, and I love pink flowers. I never loved pink Barbies. Yes, it's true. I was allergic to dolls as a young female child. In fact, I hated them. I thought they were dumb. I thought they were boring. You want me to sit around all day and put clothes on a piece of plastic and then take the clothes off and then put more clothes on, which of course meant going to the Woolworths with your hard-earned allowance and spending it on a brand new outfit for Beatnik Barbie or whoever. Well, of course, I never had a Barbie doll. In fact, I had made it clear at a much earlier age that dolls were not my thing. Anyone who gave me a doll would find out later that I had taken it down to the ditch and made it march out onto a plank, and we played pirate. Walk the plank, dolly. And away with it. So yes, dolls were not my thing. Puppets, I liked puppets. You could play with a puppet and communicate. I liked masks, obviously. I liked acting, but dolls were things that there were mannequins. You manipulate them. You learn to be a consumer. Now, I've heard little bits and rumors about what this movie is about, and it's feminist and da 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 da. But I've also heard that the car that was in the movie is also, product placement, and there was product placement out the wazoo. And essentially, to me, Barbie is a product placement consumer thing that taught girls what they should wear when they're going after the jobs that they wanted or the lifestyle that they wanted. And I just was never about that. So, not interested in the movie. I hope all the people who love Barbie had a good time. It would just be beyond me going to see that movie. One thing I did think about while reflecting upon my early aversion to dolls and how that developed into the growing realization that motherhood was not something I wanted to deal with. Back in those days in the 50s and the 60s, there were only two genders. There were boys and there were girls. And of course, there were unspoken of people who kind of bent their genders a bit, who were rather queer. And as the 60s developed and the 70s, and we all started to learn more about all the different variety of gender attraction, gender expression, I can look back at my little kid self and realize that I was definitely non-binary. I didn't like girl frilly stuff. I did not want to be a housekeeper. I did not want to be a boy, though. I didn't want to be a jock or anything like that. I wanted to do things like build and explore and be a scientist and study archaeology and history and art. I was just really into learning back then as a kid, and I wasn't, the gender thing was an intrusion, really. Having to wear a dress every day of my school life, every day, I would have to wear a dress. So when I graduated from high school, no more dresses. Sorry, I want the freedom to let my legs do as they like. And yeah, so Barbie. Okay. That's enough with you. Let's move on to the other one. And that is the Big Bomb movie. Now, I've heard the acting is wonderful, the directing is fabulous. I heard that about Barbie too, to be fair. I was born in 1951, so the bombs in Nagasaki and Hiroshima had gone off before I was born. So I was born into a world that was frosted with nuclear matter fallout. And who knows what that did to me and to everybody else. We know, of course, the people that were very close to this site, it affected them horribly. And I have no good reason to think that there was a valid reason for using those bombs. There wasn't. No valid reason. And inventing it was a horrible thing. And the people who did it, damn you. I grew up being afraid of the nuclear bombs. We had nuclear bomb drills in school. We had to hide under our desks, like that was going to do anything. And then I would have these nightmares as a kid. I would know that the bomb was coming. And it was always a dark night, but you could see the glow in the sky and it was coming closer. And there was this big noise. And I ran and I jumped and I hid in a cardboard box at ground zero. And that's, where the dream ends. But I had that dream all the time. And that's what it means to grow up knowing about the nuclear bombs. I imagine in Japan, it's even worse. So I wish I didn't live in a country that had invented the nuclear bomb. I wish I didn't live in a country that has the most nuclear bombs. I wish there weren't countries. I wish all kinds of irrational things that will never happen. So yeah, I'm not going to go see the movie because I would find it very triggering to look at all these white men sitting in a laboratory and inventing something that would kill all kinds of people and would bring suffering upon untold people. And I hear that they didn't show any of the footage of what actually happened to the people in Japan. And that is a crime. I'm sure that there are plenty of people who weren't around when all of this nuclear bomb stuff began that, don't think about it. And this movie is probably a good thing for them. Okay, good. Go see it. Go talk about it. But don't excuse the United States. Don't ever excuse the United States for dropping those bombs. The war was over. Japan just hadn't admitted it yet. And they would have been gone without any of that. But that's why weaponry is so insidious. You have to build a bigger and better weapon, and you've got to prove it by using it and inflicting untold horror so that somebody else can inflict even more untold horror. I think it's time to go out into the garden and wander amongst the pink flowers and breathe in the fragrance and watch the bees and the butterflies and forget about the bombs for now and forget about irrational consumerism. So until the next time, don't forget to keep everything picked up and tidy and stop using as much petroleum as possible. All right, bye.